What is going on, everyone? The NFL trade deadline is approaching. November 5th is the final day. Let's start the conversation. Are the Houston Texans buyers? In my opinion, they should be. 5-1. First place in the AFC South. Second overall seed in the AFC. Now, we've already seen some maids being moved by other NFL franchises. The New York Jets reunited Devontae Adams with Aaron Rodgers. The Buffalo Bills, it turns out they do need a number one wide receiver, traded for Amari Cooper from the Cleveland Browns. If you are the Houston Texans, if you are General Manager Nick Caserio, your eyes should be on this trade deadline. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to give you my top trade targets for the Houston Texans as we get closer to the NFL trade deadline. My name is Ruben Calvillo, and this is the 713 Houston Sportcast, where I drop daily Houston Texans content. Make sure you guys are following me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok for the latest news, rumors, and updates. And guys, this episode was brought to you and powered by BetUS. Guys, BetUS is giving you a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000. On your second and third, it's 125% sign-up bonus with promo code YouTube150. Start playing today. BetUS, quick 24-hour payouts, 24 hours customer service. They have the Houston Texans as 3-point underdogs against the Green Bay Packers. I think that's fair. This is going to be a great matchup. I think we're going to see the line go up and down. But ladies and gentlemen, start making yourself some bread. Let me know if in the comments down below, let me know what you guys think are the biggest need for this Houston Texans team on Twitter. A lot of y'all said cornerback help and safety help. I agree. Kamari Lassiter, your second-round pick, was not there against New England. You won't have him for a couple of weeks. Jimmy Ward, once again, will not be there, and I am sick of Jimmy Ward. I love what he brings on the field, but that's the big question. When are you going to be on the field, Jimmy Ward? You cannot have a captain patch. You cannot get a one-year extension, and you're on the sideline every other week. I am sick of the Jimmy Ward experience. We need consistency back there, guys. The best ability is availability, and Jimmy Ward, you just cannot rely on him. So one guy I am looking at in the cornerback room, Patrick Surtain II from the Denver Broncos, and a lot of people are calling him the best cornerback in the NFL. If you want to throw some seasoning on this, Patrick Surtain just followed CJ Stroud on Instagram. I think he follows Stephon Diggs as well. I will correct myself in the comments down below. Patrick Surtain was a Pro Bowler and All-Pro in 2022, a Pro Bowler last season, and so far this year has played all 6 games, 2 INTs. Patrick Surtain is one of the best, if not the best, cornerbacks in the NFL. He is someone who is due a lot of money in the next few seasons. So if you do trade for Patrick Surtain, I think it could cost you a third-round pick, a second-round pick. He is that good. But if that happens and your cornerback tandem for the rest of this season is Derek Stingley Jr. and Patrick Surtain II, we're talking about one of the best cornerback duos, if not the best cornerback duo in the NFL, ladies and gentlemen. You could have Kamari Lassiter be that number 3 cornerback when he comes back, right? Let's not rely on the rookie deep into the playoffs. Let's rely on someone who is renowned as the best cornerback in the league. And then you can have this conversation in the offseason with Derek Stingley's contract coming up, with Patrick Surtain's contract coming up. Which cornerback would you rather have? If you're asking me right now, I'm leaning towards Derek Stingley. The only thing we've been waiting for, that healthy season, that all-pro season, Surtain already has that. But nonetheless, if I'm the Houston Texans, I'm making this move. Show the world, show Houston that you are legit, General Manager Nick Caserio. Hey, you don't need to prove nothing. You don't need to prove nothing to me. But if you want to go to places you've never gone before, a name like Patrick Surtain should be on your list. Staying in the cornerback department, let's look at Greg Newsome II from the Cleveland Browns. Now, the Browns might be sellers. They already traded away Amari Cooper to the Buffalo Bills. Now, Newsome is not Patrick Surtain. However, Newsome, you can rely on him to be there on Sundays, grades well in coverage, and I think he can be your immediate number 2 cornerback and fit in nicely in the absence of Kamari Lassiter. Hell, even if Kamari Lassiter comes back, I'll feel much better having Newsome as my number 2 than the rookie. That's not saying that, Lassiter has been playing bad, but there have been moments where we've seen him get beat, and if it's a better ball thrown by the opposing quarterback, it might have been for a big gain, it might have been for a touchdown. There is still some room to grow with Kamari Lassiter. I think he is going to be a big part of this Houston Texans future, but with someone like Gregory Newsome, who you could just put in play now and kind of rely on him to be that number 2 cornerback, if I'm general manager Nick Caserio, I'm making the call. We could look ahead to the offseason. You could afford Greg Newsome if Derek Stingley decides to command the bag, and you think he will with the agent like David Mulugheta. But this is fun, guys. Talking about potentially trading some assets away to bring in some talent to push yourself further in the race as we get closer to the playoffs. This is what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. And if I'm the Houston Texans, I would be looking at Greg Newsome II from the Cleveland Browns. The last player that the Houston Texans should be taking a look at, safety Grant Delpit. We'll stick with the Cleveland Browns. If you are a fan of this channel, you know I wanted to draft Delpit a couple of years ago out of LSU. When you look at the safety group for the Houston Texans, the best safety is Kalen Bullock. With Jimmy Ward, you cannot rely on him to be there on Sundays. With Eric Murray, he'll make a great play, and then he'll have 3 bad plays. A veteran. You don't want Eric Murray to be out there starting next to Kalen Bullock. However, if you see that become Grant Delpit, man, I feel a hell of a lot better. He is able to take the ball away from the offense. He's a good tackler, 26 years old, from New Orleans. Could a change of scenery really ignite Grant Delpit? And it's not saying that he's having a bad career in Cleveland, but who knows what happens when D'Amico Ryans gets his hands on him. Right now, I feel like D'Amico Ryans could change any player's trajectory. We saw it with Fred Warner. We're seeing it with Neville Hewitt. We're seeing it with Blake Cashman. We're seeing it with Azeez Al-Shaair. I have no doubt Grant Delpit could come into this Houston Texans defense day one, fit in, and I think Grant Delpit could get better, ladies and gentlemen. With that being said, we've talked about Patrick Surtain. We've talked about Greg Newsome. And we talked about Grant Delpit. This is my trade targets for the Houston Texans as they enter the November 5th deadline. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts, your concerns. Should we look at some players on offense? But ladies and gentlemen, do not forget, this episode was brought to you and powered by BetUS. My name is Ruben Calvillo, and we drop daily Houston Texans content. Do me all a favor. Y'all have a very blessed day.